Hello, my name is Bob. Welcome to a short stop on pool. I've been trying to figure out more ways to include missed shots and failures and the wrong way of doing things into my racks of the week because I think those are really educational as well. And I actually found a really good example. I do get through this rack, but I would say I did it the wrong way. There's some really reckless shots, some pretty adventurous shots. It's interesting that I made it all the way through the rack. So how can you say that I did it the wrong way? It's because the rack could have ended multiple times in multiple ways. And that's why we're always looking to improve our patterns, improve our decision making, improve our fundamentals, because it increases the chances, the percentages, the odds of getting through the rack successfully and the next one and the next one. So let's see what we can learn from doing it the wrong way. Let's get into the rack. So a high break ball, going to have to use really powerful follow stroke. Really interesting to me. Look at how the elbow and the shoulder are far outside of the shot line. But it doesn't matter, I made the ball anyway. Oh, it matters. So my opening shot has to be this combination. There isn't really any other shot. And I like this, just going into the balls, trying to get it loose. I have a shot in the 4-ball on the side. And today, I'm pretty confident that I would select that shot, because it's going to help to open up this cluster in the center of the table, and you can do some things with that shot. You can bring the cue ball over here so you can shoot the 11. You've got lots of balls here, the 1 or the 9, to shoot after the 11, but these two balls are tied up so they need addressing. You could also just draw the cue ball back this way for this window on the 6-ball, or back this way to play the 2-ball either in the side or in the corner to get you on the 11. So I think there are some good options going that way. What I do is look at the 6-ball, and I spend a bit of time studying this. What I see, if I choose to play the 6-ball, I would want to play the 1-ball next, and the reason is I'd want a low angle on the 1 so that I can send my cue ball straight up into the 8. And I think that's going to open these up, and I have the 7 and the 15 as insurance balls. I don't shoot that. I play position for the 9, and then it looks like I'm holding the cue ball for the 1, for the shot I just mentioned, but I came too far. So I don't think I was ever planning to go up in there, and I'm not sure why. Yeah, I'm undecided right now. Yeah, I probably was trying to get a low angle on the 1. So now I'm trying to figure out what else to do. Yeah, I need to be over here to shoot the 11. The 4-ball goes in this pocket. That's what I just looked at just there. So probably I'm trying to draw back to get a shot on the 4-ball. But there's not a whole lot of thought going into this beyond that. So obviously I don't get a shot on the 4-ball. I don't have a shot on the 11. I probably can't even see the 15. So I go right to the 2-ball bank, and I'm trying to go 2 rails around and try and open up balls. This is really a reckless, careless shot, not the way to go about it. But I get very lucky in that these 2 balls look like they're lined up in the pocket, and I get a shot on the 4-ball. So sometimes fortune favors the brave, I guess. But this is a good time to plan more than 1 or 2 shots ahead, and I'm not doing that in the video. What would I do today? I believe today what I might do, assuming that these 2 balls are lined up into the pocket, I might shoot those balls now and either come off this rail into these balls, or simply bring the cue ball this way, knowing that I'll have a shot on this 14, and then I can figure out a good way to go into those balls then. I don't think that the 15 passes the 7, so that makes it difficult to get the right angle on the 7 to go into these balls. Although if you can do it, that's a really good play because it's much more controlled, and the 15 is an insurance ball back this way. That's the types of things I think I would be looking at today if I was trying to run this rack. Another possibility right now is to cut the 15, and the cue ball is just going to go this way. I don't like that shot. Way too risky, too thin of a cut when you have easier options available to you. Now, if I was going to play the 4-ball today, I think what I would want to do is either stun off the rail or draw the cue ball back so that I have this angle on this combination, because then I can simply stun the cue ball over here. Even if I don't get a shot on the 15 ball, these are going to open up. It's unlikely that I wouldn't get a shot from that. The shot that I do choose is quite reckless, but that's in keeping with the rack so far as I've played it. So I force followed 2 rails out of the corner. Nice shot. Okay. And I'm complaining about it, but I was very fortunate to move the 14 ball over where I have a shot. So looking at this today, what would I do? I think I'm really good on the 14, such that I can control the cue ball real well. And I would just want the cue ball to go to the bottom rail and up to get that angle on the 7 to go into the 8. Or I might want to, actually now that I look at it, I might want to come a little bit farther and shoot the 8 right now, but preserving this angle. Here's the line to the pocket. So I want to stay on or below that line so I can stun forward into these balls after I shoot the 8. And then the 15 this way is my insurance ball. Now all of that's assuming that these 2 balls are lined up into the pocket and they're available at any time. That may or may not be the case, but let's see what I do. Let's see what I did a year and a half ago. Okay, looks like I'm going to draw straight into that 3-ball cluster. Oh no, okay, kind of a gentle draw. All right, well that's not a bad way to play it, because it pretty much ensures that I'm going to have a shot on the 15 and then I can go from there. Okay, so I felt I needed to open those balls. It's possible then that they were lined up to the rail and wouldn't have gone in unless I threw them into the pocket in some fashion. Now, though, this is a tough spot because I've got to either force follow the cue ball forward back to center table or slow roll this to shoot the 8 ball back up in this side. That's a pretty difficult shot when you're jacked up over balls and you need to hit that cleanly, because when you're hitting it that hard, if you hit the rail going into the pocket, it's just going to rattle. So now it looks like I'm going into that 3-ball cluster. Yeah, that's the shot I mentioned much earlier in the rack. So this is a really good result, all things considered, because this is a good break ball, and this is a potential break ball. So it's kind of funny, pretty reckless shooting. 11 balls are gone, only 4 left, and only now is the rack finally what I would call solved. And I have a couple of break balls, so pretty fortunate in that respect. So I see a couple of options. It depends on which ball that I want to use as a break ball. If I'm using the 3 ball as a break ball, I want the cue ball above it and a little bit like right here, so that I can cut it at a sharp angle into the corner and get the cue ball into the bottom of the rack. If I'm going to shoot the 10 as a break ball, obviously I want to be pretty far inside of this parallel line. I'd like my cue ball over here, so I have a nice healthy angle to go into the corner of the rack. Now, if I'm going to use the 10 ball, what's my best key ball? Probably the 8. So if that's the case, what I like doing is shooting 3 ball and just bouncing up for the 9. And I want to keep the cue ball, here's the line to the pocket. I want the cue ball on this side of the line. And the reason for that is I need to be, here's the line to the pocket for the 8. I need to be below the line to the pocket for the 8 so that I can transition over to the rail. Have I drawn too many lines? An angle for an angle for an angle. So the reason why I want this angle on the 9 is because it's very controllable to bounce the cue ball off the rail below the shot line to the 8. So it's 3 shot lines that I'm looking at all at once. But once you get the hang of it, it pretty much comes automatic. And if you look at this, if I shoot the 3 and my cue ball stops here, now I'm cutting the 9 to the right. Boy, it's hard to hold the cue ball and draw it back down. It's very hard to control compared to bouncing it off the rail and getting to the right spot. So I think today, if I was playing this rack, that's what I would prefer to shoot. I know that I shoot the other way. I'm playing for the 3 ball as the break ball. Well, if that's the case, then why not just shoot the 8, come up here, leave yourself an angle on the 10, so you can come up here. Then you've got an angle on the 9 to bounce off the rail here. So it's one shot that floats out to the proper angle, and then 2 times I'm using the rail to get the proper angle on the 3. That's what I see today anyway. A year and a half ago, what I see is using the 9 ball to get on the 10. This is just a lot of cue ball movement because I've got to get my cue ball pretty much back to where it is right now, and I've got to do that off from the 10. And so what I just looked at was that getting this angle on the 10 lets me come 2 rails around to get the cue ball right back where it is now. That's too much cue ball movement, too many difficult shots to rely on. I think there's 2 easier paths to getting into the next rack. Even though I got there. That's a really good angle on that 3 ball. Now I said I wanted to be here, which is a thin cut. This is good. This is actually probably a little bit better because it's easier to pocket the ball from there. Now the danger with this shot is you don't want to use any draw, because draw is going to shorten the cue ball's angle off this bottom rail and make it come up here and miss the rack completely. So what I'm doing now is shooting center ball or maybe a hair below center, but a lot of right English. Actually, that's what I should use. Let's take a look. Yeah, it looks like I'm more in the center and low, which is why I missed the ball and missed the rack. Real fortunate I didn't scratch there. I hope you found that informative, entertaining, and helpful. If you did, please hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. Head over to SatoriFlatRack.com and check out the promo video for my new and unique pool ball rack. And of course, shortstoponpool.com for my book, A Shortstop on Straight Pool. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time at Shortstop on Pool.